The brief of this home was to create a comfortable, relaxed family environment. You could almost see yourself with white linen shirt, shorts and bare feet walking around in the midst of summer. You've got such great connection to the outdoors and the entertaining spaces that are adjacent to the main living space. And you can see that in the facade. We've used brickwork, aluminium battens, custom screening to the first floor, which is for both privacy and just to be able to treat the light into those front rooms. Whilst the facade is quite simple in its form, the way that we've treated each face with the different materials, still keeping a consistency of colour, adds to the sense of depth. The facade faces east, so the light as it rises hits the facade and you get that real play of light across the screens and the battens and the brickwork, which is a really beautiful frontage.
This particular project was quite an interesting one because they had some very complex requirements for the front facade. We have fitted a large aluminium shutter screening system across the front that spans about 8 metres wide and 3.5 metres high. As I'm sure you can imagine, that does require significant consideration from a structural perspective, but also importantly, that screening is a huge element of the overall aesthetic. We were really proud to be a big part of the design because we do believe that that front screen really adds to the finished product. The other major consideration on this project was the large expanse of northern orientation. Northern orientation is obviously beautiful as it allows much light to come into the space, but sometimes it can be overbearing and requires to be filtered somewhat. We worked with Dan and his team to select an appropriate 100% linen sheer curtain that would be able to be drawn across the window, add to the aesthetics of the space while still minimising the light and making the space more comfortable.
This house was all about the light. Being a white house, it naturally reflects a lot of light internally and externally, so there were some challenges in how we could actually treat the penetration of direct and indirect light into the house. As you move through the main entrance corridor, there's a huge void in the middle of the home, and the purpose for that was essentially to create a connection and pivot point for both levels, but also creates a light well which then throws light through the whole house, which just creates that connectivity between the inside and out. Because the palette in this home is quite simple, the detailing was really important. The way that we've used the battens in the front facade and then the sheet metal is just an example of what we had to consider from the start. There's a lot of those details where if they weren't executed right or detailed correctly, the intention would have been lost.
It is often the small details that an untrained eye may not recognise that is what actually makes the difference when it comes to the installation and the final result of a project. It may come down to ensuring that we are flush mounting a ceiling track into a plaster ceiling and that detail is done correctly. It's all these small elements that are designed not to be noticed, and in doing so, it makes the difference between a successful installation and a premium installation.
It's hard to put your finger on one particular thing that we're really proud of in this home. We're obviously proud of the level of detail in the home, but overall, the feeling that you get inside the space, it's very relaxing and calming. And I think that's always the thing that we're trying to achieve.